what it really comes down to is the immediacy. The immediacy, which is always the key, is the immediacy of our own nature. What do I mean by the immediacy? The key, really, it's not a secret, right? There's no the secret teaching is there really are no secret teachings anymore. But a real key is if we can get all of us, right? Our mind, our feeling, our perception, our sensation, our emotion. If we can kind of get all of us right into the present moment. Now, I know that nowadays things like saying the present moment has become like a spiritual cliche, right? It's used to market all sorts of things, spiritual and otherwise. But I'm not using it in a cliche way. I'm actually trying to use it in a profound way, the way that it was used by our ancestors, meaning whoever are the spiritual guides of our various communities and cultures were, you know. Spirituality is about our own immediate experience of being. Immediate experience of being. And that immediate experience of being, this is kind of our commodity, right? This is what we all have. You have whatever your immediate experience of being is, right? Whatever it is. Don't worry, don't think about right and wrong, the right experience of being or the wrong experience of being, right? Those are sort of judgments that we drag into the moment with us. Rather just being. Just the moment. Just the instant. And if you feel into what I'm saying, rather than kind of thinking about it too much, the feeling of it, just the moment. Like imagine, and I know this is imagination, but sometimes that can be useful. Imagine that just for a moment, like all sense of past was just gone, just for a moment, it'll come back, and all sense of future just disappeared. What would that be like? No past, no future. Of course, on a human level, we have a past, we have a future. I'm not denying any of that. That's part of our experience too. But just imagine to try to alter the perspective just a little bit, right? Just imagine no past. Imagine no future. And if you can feel into that a little bit, it's an incredibly unknown sort of landscape internally. Wide open, unknown. That's an entry point. That's something to pay attention to. The unknown dimensions of our own experience, especially when we're looking into our own nature. If we bump into the known, we're just still caught in a bunch of concepts. They may be fancy and subtle and alluring, but it's conceptual nonetheless. And we get behind all that. Of course, then we can bump into our sort of surface feeling, surface emotion. And by surface, I don't mean to discredit in any way. They're very real. But I mean, there's often something even deeper than what we sort of feel, even our emotions of the moment. Again, those are there. not invalidating those, but those also are something like they're flickering. They come, they go. They're not actually you. Their experiences, their feelings, their thoughts. There's all these things that come and go through us, right? There's just the sense, almost intuitively, the sense of something always present. Think of how many thoughts have come through your mind today, how many feelings, imaginings. You've had to do all sorts of things, jobs, work, responsibility, all these things, right? If you just stop for a moment and kind of feel into, say, the last 24 hours, everything's been changing, right? Inside you, all around you. And yet there's something that you can intuitively sense. Something is sort of there through the whole 24 hours or through the whole time that you can remember. But what's there through that whole time, it's not who we think we are. It's not who we imagine we are. It's not our judgments. It's not our shames. It's not how wonderful we might think we are, whatever. All this is conceptual. This comes and goes. We can get attached to it, and then it turns into feeling and emotion, of course. But in the end, right, if we just let it all kind of go, because these are all experiences that pass through us. And then there's that undefinable, really, unreducible element of being. And although we can give that lots of names, essentially, it has no name. As soon as we give it a name, we tend to go out to the name and away from what's immediately actually present. Right? Even if we give it a name like consciousness, we all have some idea of what we imagine consciousness to be, and that idea is already taking us a little way from the immediacy of our experience. And the immediacy of any experience is always bigger than what we may think or say about it. Whether it's the immediacy of some deep and profound spiritual experience or the immediacy of eating a banana. Either way, the direct experience of either one of those is going to break through the boundaries of definitions, right? You eating a banana is going to be totally different than the word banana. So all I'm trying to get here is kind of an orientation, right? An orientation to something that is quieter, that which is always awake.